Have we been live on TikTok too? Or just
No,
YouTube?
it took away, it stopped allowing me to stream to TikTok for whatever reason. So,
Damn.
I haven't pursued it.
Hmm. All right. I'll tweet us out.
Tweet us out, and then we'll go.
We've been tweeted. All right. I'm good to go.
Sweet. All right, I will see you in 15. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Gaming with the Bros Cast, episode 258. Nick, as you tweeted earlier, we're in the end game, baby. We are finally here the week that Switch 2 is getting, I don't know, more information, whatever you want to call it. The big blowout. So we are 2 days away from that. We're both extremely excited. We'll give our predictions here in a little bit. And we're also going to talk about the Switch 1 Direct, which we, it was rumored last week and it kind of came and went. But we'll talk about all that in a little bit. But Nick, before we dive into what we've been playing, how was your week?
Before we jump in, I just want to set the scene. Okay. Remember a year ago when we were like, oh man, the Switch 2. We're locked in for 2024.
Yeah.
It's a lock. And then who is it that tweets out? The president of Nintendo sends out a tweet. This is Furukawa. We'll let you know about the Switch 2 by the end of this fiscal year, which obviously ends March 31st, 2025. And it was just such a blow. And it was so early in the year. We were devastated. Nintendo YouTubers everywhere were shaking in their boots.
They were in shambles.
They were in shambles, man. I mean, with the slate of games that Nintendo had last year, there wasn't much to cover.
No,
let's be honest.
No, it was very boring. Very boring.
With all that being said, we're now 2 days away, a day and a half away, if you will.
Yeah,
it's gone by fast, and man, we're here. We're here. And I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm extremely. It's been a long year in terms of just like waiting to hear something from Nintendo. It's been a very strange year.
A lot of speculation.
Too much speculation. Too many rumors.
Too many rumored directs. A lot of false alarms, if you will.
Yeah.
Another year goes by without Twilight Princess or Wind Waker, without Metroid Prime 2 or 3.
Yep.
Another year on the books without those games, it's fine. We'll be all right.
We
got other games to play, but we're here. And to answer your question, my week was good. Okay. And I have a question for you. So I went over to, me and my wife went over to some friend's house on Friday and we were playing this game. And essentially you have like a scale of like one word and then like the polar opposite of that word. And your scale has, I'm trying to find the best way to explain this, but you have like an arrow that's like at this point on the scale, it's like halfway, or it's like 2/4 of the way, or 1/3 of the way between. And the example here is very dry to very wet. And I basically had to explain something that was in between very dry and wet. It was like in this area. And my example was a bath towel that had been used like 5 hours ago.
Okay, that's a solid. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like that's pretty solid. But people guessed
it's damp, but it's not like soaking wet, but it's not dry either.
Right. And my intention was like, okay, that's like pretty dry. Everyone guessed past the middle on the other side, so that it was still wet, closer to very wet.
Okay.
And then it got me thinking, there's a spectrum to wetness.
Yeah.
But is there a spectrum to dryness? Like if something's dry, it's just dry.
It's just dry.
And if it's a little wet, it's a little wet. I mean, something could
It's
be
a little
very
wet,
wet.
but it's
Something
not dry. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, then there's the age-old question. If you are just submerged in water, are you wet? Or are you just become water? You're not wet until you get out of the water, right?
Are you become water? That's good. That is a great question. Are you surrounded by water until you get out and then you're wet?
Yeah.
Yeah, if anyone knows something that's in between very dry and wet, that's actually a good example. Please let me know because I was racking my brain about it.
I mean, I think the towel thing is a you know,
but it's still wet. You
it's
know what I'm saying? Like it's still a little moist, which would put it past the middle towards the like here's the spectrum.
I don't know, when I describe something that's wet, I feel like you can take it and whatever the object is, wring it out, and water's gonna drip. With a towel that's been used 3 hours ago, you can still feel the wetness, but you can't wring water out. So to
So
me,
it's
that's
still
just kinda it's just damp.
so it's still a little wet though. I feel like damp's just another word for a little wet.
But see, I would describe wet as, like, soaking wet. Like, wet is a term I would use that I put my foot in some water, I take it out, I'm soaking wet. I wouldn't say I wouldn't walk up and grab it like someone's towel and say, "Oh, this is wet." I would just say, "Oh, it's just this is damp."
Okay, if you were to open up a laundry machine
Yeah.
and it wasn't completely dry, the clothes, would
Yeah,
you
I
say,
would say
this is
damp.
still a little wet," or would you say,
I would say
this
I
isn't
would say it's
completely
damp.
dry"? You'd say
I
it's
would say it's
damp.
damp. Yeah,
Okay.
because again,
M
you can't wring it out. There's no, like, water coming out.
maybe I should have used the word damp as an example, but
Yeah, because I think dry, and then the very opposite of dry is wet, and then you have, levels of dampness in between. Like, you have dry, like, very dry, or just dry. I don't know, there's, like, levels of dryness, it's just dry,
Mhm.
and then you have, like, soaking wet, like, dripping water, like, you get out of the pool and you're soaking wet.
Hmm. Okay.
And then if you've been, like, once you get out of the pool and you've been hanging out at the pool and the sun hits you and you start to dry off, you touch your swim trunks and they're just a little bit damp.
Sorry to derail us so much.
Dry, damp, wet. Maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe that's not the answer, but
Yeah, I stay wet, but alas, here we are. But my weekend was
is
good.
cereal considered a soup?
No.
We're not gonna go.
No.
Anyways,
Also did a beer trolley, a trolley pub.
okay.
For
Well, you like ride
for
around and
birthday.
like
Yeah, you like
that's
pedal
cool.
it yourself, and
Yeah.
I've stopped at a few bars, so that was a lot of fun on Saturday.
Do they serve beer on the trolley, or you just?
You buy it in their shop, and then they bring it on the trolley.
Oh,
I
okay.
think you used to be able to bring your own beer, but people were bringing liquor, so they had to shut that down. So you can only buy it there. But it was still like a pretty good price for the beer itself. It wasn't overpriced, which is good. But yeah, that was fun. And then just did some yard work Saturday. Scalped the yard. It was nice. It was
getting nice out there.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah, it was
I got some like aerator shoes. It's like
oh yeah,
it's
like
like
spiky shoes.
Yeah, strap it onto your shoe. And I was just walking around the yard Saturday night or Sunday night, just vibing. It was fun.
Vibing and walking. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. But how's your weekend? How's your week?
It was good. It was a good week. Kellen got sick. He got sick on Friday. Well, no, let me back up. He got, I guess, sick on Thursday. He had like a little bit of a cough, and then we went to our daughter Kaylee's soccer game, and he was kind of rolling around in like the grass and stuff. And I think maybe like it's part allergies. I think it's more allergies than it is like actual sickness. But he would definitely wasn't feeling super well. And then at some point Friday, I think he either coughed too hard or he sneezed and tried to like hold it in. And he popped a blood vessel in his eye, which we didn't like. Like I've never popped a blood vessel, and he was just sitting there eating like lunch or whatever. And I looked and I was like, oh my God, like babe, come over here. And she was like, oh, it's just the blood vessel, whatever. So it hadn't gotten any worse. And I did read that it gets a little bit worse before it starts to like heal and like your body like your eye absorbs like the blood back into your body, whatever. But still like a little bit like.
Was it? Did it hurt? Like was he?
No, he didn't even notice.
Oh wow.
He started like tearing up a little bit after he went to the bathroom and looked because he just got a big old bloody eye.
Scared,
yeah. But it was like right on like the outside of like the cornea. So didn't like impact his vision or anything like that, which is good.
That's good. Okay. Ugh, scary though.
Yeah, a little scary. And like I said, I've never done that personally. So, and then I noticed like after he did that, he like I was like, don't hold your sneezes. Like just let it rip. Yeah, just let him out. Yeah, and then Saturday we went to like this little local Mexican store that we've been going to here recently. Like a Mexican grocery store. Made some tacos, made some chicken legs. Did some kebabs on the grill on Saturday.
Nice.
Had a couple of our other friends come over. Just hung out, played some Uno, talked about anime. It was a good time.
Dude, good stuff. That sounds wonderful.
Have you seen Solo Leveling yet? Have you finished that yet?
No, I need to. God, man. I'm hearing it's a goat.
Speak.
Hearing it's one of the best.
Did you ever finish Attack on Titan?
Yeah. Finished that.
Did you?
I did. Yes.
Okay.
I did. Yeah. It was a great final episode.
Yeah. So yeah, good weekend. Just and then I opened up a little eBay store. I've been selling a bunch of Pokemon cards.
Oh. Have you sold any of the graded ones?
No, I do have a couple of them listed.
Okay.
So I'm gonna see what happens with those, and I think I'm going to try, if not this week, next week for sure. I'm gonna do a yard sale, but I'm also gonna do like kind of like a little pop up Pokemon yard sale kind of thing. Because me and Kellen right now we're going through like the original 4 sets, and we're gonna try to complete them because we've got most of them like done. We've got so many cards, so all the excess ones I'm just gonna sell. Just so we can get them out of the house. And then do you remember a few years ago when we were going through Dad's closet and we found all those baseball cards? Did you take some of those?
Yeah, I have a box of like 1,000.
Okay.
So if you want them.
No. Like I pulled them out and I was just kind of looking through them. I'm gonna take them up to a local card shop and just see if they're worth anything. I think the ones that you have might have been some of the more expensive ones.
Okay. Yeah, I'll need to take a look. I've been meaning to do something with them, but it's there's a lot and I know nothing about them. So
yeah, there's this card store that we found a couple of weeks ago that we've been through once or twice since then. I took Kellen there once after, but he does a lot of like sports cards too. So I'm just gonna take it up and say, hey, you can hold on to them, go through them if there's anything like you think that's valuable, or offer me a price, whatever, because they've just been kind of sitting. So
yeah, nice. Well, let me know if you get any successes with the eBay store.
Oh, I've already sold like 8 cards. I've probably sold probably like $200 worth of cards now.
Damn.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
Yeah, and people have been pretty fair. Like, because I'll go. There's a website called like Price Charting, where it shows you like, you know what it is. So I just go and buy like the ungraded because most of the cards are ungraded, and then just kind of listing them as is. And then some people just straight up buy them, and then some people do like if it's a reasonable counter offer, like $5 or 10, I'll bite. But I think I listed one card for like 100, which is it's like a first edition German Alakazam, and he like cut the price in half. I'm like, I'm gonna wait, just see what happens.
Yeah. Hold on to that one a little bit. Yeah.
So
Heck
it's
yeah.
been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of Pokemon here in the last like month or so.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, the new set came out Friday, which I did manage to get one pack, which was cool. But yeah, a lot of Pokemon. But it's been fun.
Nice.
It's been fun. But yeah, Nick, let's talk. I still haven't played a ton of Xenoblade, by the way. I've probably put 5 hours in, 5.5 hours.
Oh, you're missing out.
And I haven't done story wise, for context, I met like the aliens for the first time.
Okay. So you're in chapter 3?
Yeah, and I've passed that.
Gotcha.
And then after that, like the game really opened up.
Yeah.
And I just started going directions, like clearing up some of the grids where I could. Some I couldn't, but
yeah,
this game's fun, man. It's fun just running around, vibing. It's a great podcast game, man.
It's a super perfect podcast game. Really rewarding exploration. I think last week I had gotten the Skell, and I was like a little bit underwhelmed with how powerful the Skell was, because it wasn't stacking up against like my powers outside of the Skell.
Right.
And now at this point, I mean, I'm like 40 hours in. I got the flying Skells now. Like I'm flying all over the world. I'm beefed up. Like it's a freaking good time on these Skells, man. It is it is such a blast just flying around.
It looks good from the clips that I've seen that you've posted on TikTok and X or whatever. Yeah, looks. I guess I didn't realize that your other party members also got Skells, and then you could just like.
Yeah, you can buy Skells for your party members too. So it gets expensive, and your Skells, which are like the giant mechs that you operate, they run on Maranium, so they run on fuel, and
there's a fuel system.
There's a fuel system, so you can run that. Like if you're flying around, you'll your fuel will decrease, and then every attack that you do uses a certain amount of fuel, which can it'll recharge over time. But if you're doing a lot of fights back to back to back, you're gonna deplete your fuel pretty fast, and you have to go back to your base and refuel there. So that can get pretty expensive. So like building out your probes throughout Frontier Nav, like getting your my Maranium mining, like getting all of that figured out and making you a lot of Maranium every 30 minutes is super useful early on, because then you can kind of be stacked from both a money perspective and from a I think it's called Maranium perspective. So I said this last week, but there's a ton of mechanics in this game, and I feel like I'm barely scratching the surface, but having such a blast playing this game. I can't get enough of it.
Yeah, it's really good from what I've played so far. I like it a lot. I've been. So I talked about it like a few weeks ago. I've still having a little bit of sleep issues. I did get prescribed like a sleep aid, which I take, and it's helped tremendously. But once I take it, I have like 30 minutes before I'm out.
The countdown is on.
Yeah. So, I try to play like, that's when I'm playing like my Portal or like the Switch. I'll play in bed, and I just haven't been able to do that here recently, which is why I haven't played as much games, because I mean, generally, after Kellen goes to bed, then I'll come downstairs and play some games. But I've just been trying to, just drink less caffeine during the day, and just going to bed, a lot earlier, just to help with that. And it has been, but it's also like my video game time has also gone down a lot. So it's like, it kind of stinks, but
I feel like when I was playing through Metaphor on the Portal, that was happening a lot, where I was like falling asleep while playing, because like there was like those long cutscenes, you're just kind of clicking through them, and then it's turn-based too. So like even if you're nodding off, it's not like you're putting yourself in jeopardy or anything.
Yeah,
but,
and that was my plan. Last Sunday, whenever I was out of town for work, I was like, oh man, I'm gonna get up in this like giant king bed, pillows surrounded me. I'm gonna have such a good time. And then within like 30 minutes, I was asleep. Damn it!
Damn, this is
not the plan I had.
Got too comfy here.
Yeah, I got too comfy. Yeah. But yeah. Game's great. I mean, I think Xenoblade is definitely a super underrated franchise. Do we have any sales numbers for this game? Do we know?
The Japan numbers came out. It's physically it sold less than the Wii U version its first few days, which I mean the split between physical and digital is a lot different than it was 10 years ago. It definitely leans more towards the digital side now. I'm not exactly sure about how Japan is, but I hope it cracks 1 million. I'm not sure if it will. It's just one of those things. It's so close to the Switch 2 at this point. I'm hoping it gets some sort of Switch 2 version. I know there's like that secret 60 FPS mode hidden.
Yeah, I did hear
within
about
the
that.
game files. So maybe it receives like an enhanced edition on the Switch 2 or some sort of upgrade or something. That would be really cool. Hopefully it gives it some more life, because I don't know. I think this game is awesome. It's a lot different than the Xenoblade trilogy, because the story is really embedded within the side quests and all of the other
It's number
missions that you get.
1 on the US eShop right now. So I think
Right,
think
so it
that's
still
pretty
is number
telling.
1?
Yeah.
Cool, okay. So it's still doing I'm guessing it's doing well in the US then.
Yeah. I bet it's over 1 million, I'd imagine. I mean,
Hopefully.
Gene Park on Twitter alone is like selling this game for everybody.
He is, yeah. Showing all the mech stuff.
Yeah.
Or all the scale stuff. But yeah, this game is very much driven by its side stories and by its side missions. So at every opportunity, I would advise anyone playing to,
Yeah.
not try to mainline it and do like the side stuff, because there's a lot of cool side missions. You find like a lot of different alien races through the side missions, and you can like bring them into New LA.
That's
So
cool. Okay.
there's a lot that you can do that you could potentially miss out on if you're just mainlining it. And like with the structure of the game, like it doesn't let you mainline it that much, because you have to be a certain level to start one of the main quests. And like there are like some other prerequisites that you have to do occasionally for main missions.
Like
some affinity
opening up the
missions.
map and stuff like that. I saw that was like one of the first ones. You have to get so many percentage in the starting area.
Yeah. So it kind of gates you in that way, and forces you to go explore the world, which I think is to its benefit. I know on paper it might sound annoying if you're just wanting to play through the main story, but you're going to get a lot more out of this game if you're doing the random affinity missions and side quests, that kind of stuff. So highly recommend this game.
Sweet. I did have this on my list, but Nick, how far are you in Split Fiction?
I think I'm on the 4th chapter.
4th chapter. Okay. So you've done the pig level?
Yeah.
Okay.
That one was crazy.
That was so trippy. Oh my God. Yeah. This game is good, man. It's so much fun.
It's really good. My wife and I haven't played in like a week and a half, just because she's been really busy with work, so she's been tired and hasn't like wanted to play as much. So I'm trying to get her back into it so we can finish it up, because I think we're over halfway. I think there are only like 7 chapters, so we're only halfway. It's just the chapter we're on currently. It's so difficult for someone who doesn't play games, because it's like very heavily reliant on shooting. It's on the sci-fi side. You have the like the double blasters. I don't know if you're on that level yet, but
no, but there was one, like it's one of the very early levels when you're jumping across like all the different spaceships or whatever, and like the police try to get you, and it's like mine. I had the laser sword, so I would slash the bombs or whatever, so they would release, and then my wife Brittany, she would grab them, and then then she'd have to aim where the spaceship was at and then shoot it.
We had the same problem.
Yeah, pretty hard on that one. I just like I told her, I was just like, once you get them, just stand still and just look around. It's not, the game is, I mean, it's pretty forgiving. Like I was like, I'm not gonna die, so we don't have to worry about, just
I'm locked in. So
yeah, I'm locked in. And like the checkpoints are like so forgiving. I will say one thing that I wish Joseph Fares does in his next game is, and maybe it's in the game and I just don't know, but I wish there was like a way you could highlight something that you're looking at. like
I
because
kinda
there's been
tagged
instances
it.
where it's like, oh, you need to break this glass or something like that, and she's like, where? And I'm like, and then I just have to point at it like on my screen or something like that, or her screen, which is
Mhm.
fine. I mean, it's obviously co-op, so we're right there. But it'd be nice if I could like tap Y, and it would highlight, like in Fortnite or something like that, where you highlight an area,
Yeah.
whatever. That would be cool.
That'd be good. Yeah, I feel like they need some feedback. Is there I mean, there's like there's difficulty settings too, right? Like there are modifiers, I think. You
Maybe
can
we
make
didn't really play around with those,
hmm.
which I already know. My wife should be like, no, I don't want to do that. I want to get through it.
Actually, there are because we were struggling really hard on a boss, and I was like, "Hey, just want to let you know, I went to the settings. There's some modifiers we can do." She's like, "No,
Yeah,
we're gonna do it.
we're gonna
Okay,
get this.
okay,
We're gonna
tried this. We've tried this 20 times, but okay."
Yeah. So yeah,
But
that
it's
game
a
is
really fun game.
yeah, that game is great. Can't wait to play some more. Anything else you've been playing?
No, just been Xenoblade. Just
Sweet.
been grinding away.
All right. Well, do you want to get to? You want to start with our top 10 favorite game or must play games? We think on the.
Yeah, let's start with that. Yeah, I mean
Okay.
that should be. That should be.
I don't have mine in any particular order.
I don't either. Yeah,
Okay,
I just have
cool.
10 must-play games. If you're a new Switch owner or if you're coming in late to the Switch era and you're like, like which game should I play? What are the must-play games? We got you.
Yeah.
We got lists for you right here.
You want to go first?
Yeah. So I'm gonna do these two just because they're pretty similar. But Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah.
I think you should start with Breath of the Wild because it is a different game from Tears of the Kingdom. There are different mechanics. It plays differently. Sure, it's a similar world, but I mean, the story's different. I think there's a lot of value, even though Tears of the Kingdom exists now, and maybe objectively it's the more fun game to play. I still think there's value in playing Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know if you had those on your list, but
I had Tears.
Okay.
I do think I think you should play Breath of the Wild if you have to pick, I would say just play Tears. Look up a video for the story or something like that. And just jump into Tears of the Kingdom. I think it's the better game. I think it's more fun to play. The traversal is just fantastic. All the building mechanics, it's so much fun. And just travel, like just exploring in that world in Hyrule there's not a lot of games that do it better than this, in my opinion. It's just fun. It's just pure fun.
Hell yeah.
So, yeah.
All right, give me one from your side, Harrison.
Okay. I've got this one's probably I don't know if it's gonna be your list or not. I've got Dredge.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I love this game. I've played all the DLCs that it has. I think it's the perfect handheld fishing simulator with a twist of the Cthulhu horror elements to it. I mean, there's like hundreds and hundreds of fish that you can capture. The upgrades to the boat are super nice when you finally get the net and stuff like that. I think it's one of the best games on the Switch. It's such a good indie game. It's great.
Yeah, it's a really great portable game. Really great handheld game.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Nice. Okay, my next one is Fire Emblem Three Houses.
Yes.
I was between this and Engage, but I think from a story perspective, Three Houses is absolutely better than Engage. I think Engage, you could argue, has better gameplay, which I would agree with. I still think Three Houses is a more complete experience. And if you're into something like Harry Potter, where you like get sorted into houses, that kind of stuff, you're going to love Three Houses because you pick a house essentially, and you have, your classmates, you're not classmates, but you have students that are your characters and you kind of grow with them. And there's a lot of cool story stuff that happens in Three Houses, and there's a lot of different paths you can take. So there's a ton of content here that I think will be worthwhile to play through. And I didn't even play through all the routes, and maybe it's something I should do. someday. But there's a ton of really high quality content.
Yeah, that's one game on the Switch that is just I know I should play it, but I don't know. You know what I mean? I know it's such a good game, and you have way more of affinity for Fire Emblem than I do. But yeah, I know it's a fantastic game. Absolutely.
Mm.
All right, I think this one's probably going to be on your list, but Sea of Stars. This game, one of my favorite JRPG games of all time. It's just absolutely fantastic. I personally prefer like turn-based strategy over like what is it, real time, like the new Final Fantasies are. I just prefer like that old school like turn-based. That's obviously this is what it's, Sea of Stars is homage to those games in the past, but they add in like kind of the Paper Mario elements where there is like active time a little bit where you can, if you press a button, you can defend or block or dodge or do extra damage depending on what the move is. Yep. Story is incredible. Graphics, such a beautiful game. I mean, I loved it so much. I played it on Game Pass and then picked up the special edition whenever they released that. It's fantastic. I haven't played on the Switch necessarily. I played a little bit, but when I get to it, when I get to it, I know it's going to be fantastic. But
nice, yeah. When's that DLC coming?
This year, I thought
this spring 2025.
Yeah, I think so. So I need to get on it. That way, it's ready to go.
Yeah, you really do. My next one, Metroid Dread.
Yep.
This is
that's on my list too.
It's like the quintessential 2D Metroidvania game. Like it's
one of the best of all time.
One of the best of all time. It's like almost perfect. I think the only thing that held it back a little bit was the loading times between areas. And it's one of those games where like I would love for it to get a Switch 2 Enhanced Edition or something that maybe improved the visuals a little bit, made it a little bit more crisp, and then improved those loading times. I think that would be a great improvement. But otherwise, pretty perfect game.
It's pretty flawless.
One of the best of all time.
Yeah, and it's pretty challenging too. Like that last boss fight, man, was very hard.
It's one of those things that once you get it, you're almost like the time that you beat it, you almost do it without taking any damage. It's one of those things where like you learn it, and it's fun to learn too. Like that.
Yeah,
I think that, man, thinking back, that might be one of my favorite final boss fights because it's one of those ones that you can learn it so well and you can master it, whereas other games don't necessarily have that luxury.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm gonna say Luigi's Mansion 3. I think this is the best Luigi's Mansion game. I think this is an absolute must play if you own a Switch. It's got the local co-op if you want to play co-op, and honestly I think that's probably the better way to play it. I didn't play it by myself, so I didn't have to like swap to Gooigi. Is it Gooigi?
I think it's Gooigi. Yeah.
So I don't know how that gameplay works. I don't know if that's a little bit cumbersome having to do that.
I don't remember it being cumbersome.
Okay, cool. But the co-op was excellent in this game, and it was more in line with like maybe the original Luigi's Mansion. Like 2 was very, you went through like the individual mansions, or it was very level based. So there wasn't like any sort of like fluid exploration like in the original Luigi's Mansion. So I think, but I still think this is definitely my favorite out of the 3. It's a great.
Yeah,
it looks fantastic.
Visually one of the best looking games on the Switch. Dude, great game. Great game.
Well, I would love a Luigi's Mansion 1 like remake or remaster.
Like a full stop remake, yeah.
Yeah, or just like remaster it and give us some really crisp graphics.
Or they'll just throw it on GameCube NSO.
That's probably
call it a day. Yeah.
I'll take that. Whatever.
Which one do I want to do next? Okay, this one was kind of a sleeper hit for me. I didn't really expect to like it as much as I did, but Kirby and the Forgotten Land is. I'm not a big Kirby fan, but
yeah, this is on my list too.
Them going into 3D, like kind of treating it like Super Mario Worlds. Is it Super Mario World? Not Super Mario World. Like Super Mario 3D World. Like kind of like treating it like that, except with longer levels.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like this game felt so good to play, and I know it ran at 30 frames per second, but just because the game was a little bit slower paced, you didn't really feel that as much as you would with something like let's say if like Mario ran at 30 frames. So I don't know. This one surprised me a lot. I really love this game. It has one of the coolest endings to a Nintendo game. It's just such an epic ending.
Very epic.
Like is really out of left field.
Yeah.
Very, very non-Nintendo in how it approaches that ending. So if you haven't played it, I would totally recommend
very much
it.
Like aesthetically, it's not quite the same, but like the level in 3D and Mario Odyssey, where like it's like the Dragon Keep or whatever. It's like, are we about to do like some Dark Souls-esque type stuff going on? Obviously not, but like yeah, it was very, very different like visuals going on compared to the rest of the game, which was very bright and whatever open. This one's very linear but very dark. But yeah, Kirby's great.
Mm-hmm.
What was that? What are we on? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm on my 7th. Okay. This one's probably on your list as well. Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
Absolutely.
Yeah. This game. This was really my first Xenoblade game. I did kind of dabble in one, and then ended up getting Xenoblade Chronicles 3 because you raved. I don't think I got it at first, but you were raving so much about it. I was like, man, I've got to play this game. And it's kind of like X. I haven't I just now like a few hours in is when the combat clicked. And that's really what happened with Xenoblade 3 for me. Especially after that video you sent me about like the tutorial on figuring out the overdrive mechanic and stuff like that. But we said it before on the podcast, but chapter 5, once you get to chapter 5,
yes,
like the story takes a crazy shift, crazy turn, which was already a pretty like intriguing like world. But once you get to chapter 5, it's like, man, like that's where it really starts to like kick in for me.
It really pulls you in, tugs at your heartstrings. Like I think I like audibly gasped during a critical moment in chapter 5. So that doesn't happen quite often with video game stories for me. But this one really is something special. I think for me, it's the best of the 3 Xenoblade games. We'll see how X turns out when I finish that one, but I definitely like it better than 1 and 2. And I started with 2, and normally you like the one that you start with, but I think 3 rises above. I think it's
3 is excellent. The combat is so fun. It's clean. That overdrive mechanic is like, it's really awesome once you figure it out. It's just so cool, man.
It's a satisfying game to play.
Yeah, the soundtrack is incredible. The fact that it didn't win soundtrack of the year that year it got absolutely robbed, man. Oh
yeah, it got snubbed.
Yeah,
I don't even. Which one did God of War win soundtrack
of
the year?
It was God of War.
Sure, I don't remember that soundtrack, but yeah, seriously, like, come on, man. We've heard that a billion times before in other games.
I mean, I love God of War, and but
yeah. I mean, it was my
Xenoblade absolutely got snubbed for soundtrack of the year, and when did that game come out? In 2021 or 22?
God of War. Xenoblade was 22.
22.
Yeah.
I mean, it was our game of the year, wasn't it? Xenoblade 3. What was our game of the year? Huh?
Elden Ring.
Elden Ring was 2022. Okay, never mind. Okay,
you're forgetting about the goat.
I did. I did forget.
Man, that was a kind of a banger year.
That's a banger
between
year.
Elden Ring, God of War, Xenoblade 3, Splatoon 3, Pokemon Arceus. Oh, I know we just went through and ranked ranked all the years of the Switch last week, which you guys should watch because that was a fun episode to record.
Yeah. Go back and listen. We ranked all the years. It was a good time for sure.
Okay, next up, this one's an obvious one. Everyone is gonna think about this game, Mario Odyssey.
Yeah,
it's the best 3D Mario.
Yeah, I didn't put any Marios on this list. I was trying to be a little bit different, but maybe not so much.
Mine was all first party,
yeah,
mainly first party. So
I knew between the two of us, we would knock out the big stuff.
Yeah. I mean, everyone in the world has already talked about Mario Odyssey, but I really think it does stand above the other 3D Marios. It's so fun to play. The movement is perfect in that game.
Yeah, I don't think it's close to any of the other ones. I think it's leagues ahead.
Yeah,
and it still graphically, it still looks so damn good. Like, it's insane that game came out in 2017.
Honestly, there's not a single other platformer, like 3D platformer, that's come close to capturing the movement that Mario Odyssey captures.
It's pretty. I mean, they nailed it. I mean, just the insane stuff you can do with a hat and just jumping in, like, yeah, man, what a game!
Like the skips.
I mean, my son beat it like 3 times. Like, he loved this game
for good reason too. I mean, and he played Super Mario 3D World before Odyssey, or did he play it after? Well, it was before, right? Because he was.
I don't know, because he might have been like
that one was easier to play.
I think that one might have kicked it off. Like, I was playing Bowser's Fury, and that one, the co-op sucks in that game. And that was a little bit hard for him with just the Bowser mechanic and like coming out, he couldn't like dodge the attacks. But then he started playing Odyssey and he just loved it. So I think Bowser's Fury kicked that off.
I remember him being really into 3D World for a while.
Oh yeah, he loved 3D World.
Yeah. All right, what you got next?
All right. Let me look real quick. I'm trying to see what I got here. I've kind of been back and forth all day. Well, I've got a ton of digital games, and I've got my main games here. Well, I think I'm on number 8.
Take your time, think it through.
Okay, I've got to sit in here, so I'm gonna go with it. Pikmin 4. I think this is
mine too.
An incredible Switch game, incredible Pikmin game. I think it's the best Pikmin game. Granted, I haven't played 3, so I don't know what that comparison's like, but this is one of the prettiest games on the Switch, which is crazy. But it's so like the field of view is so close that they can really get a lot of good details. The end game in this game, like, surprisingly, is great. This game is just, man, it's Pikmin. If you like Pikmin, you're gonna like Pikmin 4. And having what's the little dog guy's name? Ochi. Having him, just kind of speed up the movement a little bit, and having all the Pikmin be able to jump on his back. Man, such a cool mechanic.
I still need to do this in game. Still need to finish it up.
It's good.
I'll tell you what. You finish up Super Mario Bros. Wonder.
Okay.
And I'll do the end game.
Hey, that's fair. I do need to play that game. I just need to get past the stupid trial, like the whatever levels, the bonus levels, or the challenge levels that they have, and just mainline.
You could finish this game in like 2 hours.
Yeah, I know I can, but this challenge level is really
the completionist in you is it's calling.
Yeah, Pikmin is. I think it's a must play.
Incredible.
I think this game is absolutely incredible.
Yeah, totally agreed. I think this is my last one because the other ones have been covered. Yeah, Astral Chain. I don't know if you've played Astral Chain, but dude, it's one of those games where like the combat is going to feel really weird at first because you're controlling you're essentially controlling 2 characters, and you're using, like, the right analog stick to send your, like, your creature character forward, and, like, you're, like, tying it around the it's a really weird thing. It's almost like, Pokemon Rangers in a
Ooh,
way. Like the DS game where you circle around Pokemon.
I
It
love that
kind
game.
of reminds me a little bit of that. But the
Where's that
combat
game? Why did we never get that on the Switch?
I know. And maybe we'll get it with when, like, DS, comes to
Maybe.
NSO. But this game's super stylish, super sleek. It's from Platinum Games. They made Bayonetta, so, like,
Yeah.
combat is naturally just really good. Yeah, I would recommend this to fans of action games. Like, it's really good. It's a really, really good game. Holds up well.
That was your last one?
Yeah, I do want to quickly plug Celeste.
I was just gonna say, where's Celeste at?
Yeah. I was thinking like bigger games. I wasn't really thinking indies. That's my bad. But yeah, Celeste is one of my favorite games of all time.
Yeah.
One of the best 2D platformers ever.
For sure. Yeah, it's incredible. And the story is very, like, kind of light, but it's
light but heavy.
Like, yeah, it's heavy. There's not a lot of lore or anything like that. It's just a journey of, essentially a girl going, climbing a mountain, but it's a lot deeper than it entails. So yeah, that game is incredible. Man, I think I have one left, and I'm torn between the two.
Well, you can do both, man.
Yeah, this is true. All right, and they're very similar too, which is also, but I think they're so good. Hollow Knight and Prince of Persia, I think are two of the best. I mean, between Hollow Knight, Prince of Persia, and Metroid and Dread, 3 of the best Metroidvania games out there. Hollow Knight combat's, I mean, it's not as, like, in depth that per se as, like, Prince of Persia. I think Prince of Persia is a little bit combat's better in that game
for sure.
But the exploration in this game is so fun. In Hollow Knight, the world of Hollow Knight is also incredible. The boss fights are great. Yeah, I mean, there's not really much negative. I mean, it's more. It's got that Dark Souls element where you can lose your runes. I think it's runes, or your currency to level up. So there is that mechanic in there where there's not in Prince of Persia. So that's where they kind of differ a little bit. But yeah, Hollow Knight's fantastic. I mean, there's a reason why this, Silksong is so, wanted at this point. Because Hollow Knight 1 was just that good. And then Prince of Persia, I mean, it's very different than, like, the Prince of Persia, like Sands of Time and those 3D action games. It's very much more of a Metroidvania game. Combat in this game is excellent. It's feel like an anime show. It's very, very, very epic. Game's challenging too. With the boss fights, exploration is excellent. They've done a couple of updates since the game came out. Mainly the one where, like, you're, they're, a couple in the whack trees, but they're basically, the shrines or, whatever in a Dark Souls game you can travel to and level up there and stuff like that, change out your items and stuff like that. But so they made you able to fast travel between those instead of the fast travel points, which really speeds up the exploration and stuff like that if you're trying to go back at 100% the game. And they added a kind of a new mechanic to Metroidvanias where you can screenshot where you're at in the map, and then it'll take a picture of it. And then, because a lot with Metroidvania, there's that one little item that's, slightly above where you can jump, and you're like, okay, I'm going to unlock a double jump at some point. And you can take a picture of that and save it for later. So that also helps out with, completing the map and stuff like that. So yeah, similar games, but very, very good games in their own right.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to do my list. I do have 2 honorable mentions. Death's Door. I think it's a great
yes.
top-down, action game. A lot of like journalists were kind of saying it's like a Dark Souls game, but it's really not. I mean, the only mechanic is you drop stuff when you die. But no, you don't. You don't in that game, do you?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think you do. So maybe because it was just challenging.
Yeah.
And whenever a game has like challenging boss fights, people always assume it's like Dark Souls related or whatever Souls like. Not the case. This game is an excellent top-down action game. And then my other honorable mention is Zelda Skyward Sword. I think if a lot of people like me hated this game on the Wii, give it a shot on the Switch. I think it does this game justice because the world is fun. The story is probably one of the best ones in a Zelda game.
Yeah.
It's really, really cool. Yeah, definitely. And you can still play with motion controls. It's still in there if you prefer it that way. And like it's a little bit weird because you have to control the sword with the joystick, which is a little bit different from other Zelda games. But it works.
It works though.
Yeah.
Nice. Just a quick rapid fire indie game shout outs. Slay the Spire, both of the Ori games.
Oh my god.
Carry On. That's a really fun reverse horror game. Short Hike. It's like 2 hours, but it's just about climbing a hill. Really fun.
Yeah.
Hades, obviously really good.
Castaway, pretty recent game, but that game's pretty fun.
That's a very homage short game.
To I always forget it. Zelda, whatever.
Link's Awakening?
Yeah. Link's Awakening, yeah. I can't never remember that name. I don't know why.
It's a good name. And then SteamWorld Dig 2. That's a really, really great entry in the SteamWorld series. Yeah, cool. There's some recommendations.
Some of the best games ever. They're great. The Switch. So I think the Switch. I don't know what I'm gonna put above one day, but the 360 and the Switch are like right there for me as like peak gaming goes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where the Switch falls on.
Switch above it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, maybe the Xbox has the best memories. Maybe the 360 has the best memories, but the Switch has the best games.
For sure. Yeah. Switch has an incredible lineup of games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, can't beat Halo, Gears.
Yeah.
BioShock, Dead Space.
Mass Effect.
Fable.
So many. Assassin's Creed started there.
Yeah.
There's so many great franchises. All right. Well, let's dive into the news, and then we'll finish it up with the our Switch 2 Direct predictions. Still crazy that we're a day and a half away.
I know.
Nick, you want to read the first one?
Yeah. So this was dropped via Nintendo's Nintendo Today app a few days ago. I think it was last Friday.
Pretty big start to this app, by the way.
Big start. But the Zelda movie, the live action movie that's being produced by Sony, is coming out March 2027. I think there was a specific date mentioned, March 23rd, something like that.
Like 17th, maybe
March 17th. Yeah. Sometime in March 2027. Yeah. A separate rumor, whatever, came out that this is supposed to be a trilogy taking place over, or like with the movies being over 6 years, or being produced over 6 years. So that's also exciting. And the synopsis of the movie is kind of exactly what any Zelda game is that there's Ganondorf, the opposing force, and Link has to go on a journey to save Hyrule, find the Triforce, do whatever. There was no mention of Zelda in this synopsis. I'm assuming Zelda is going to be heavily involved in the movie, but I don't know. Are you excited for a live action Zelda? And we do know that it's being filmed in New Zealand, which is where
it's very Lord of the Rings esque. I mean, I still stand by Lord of the Rings is like the best trilogy of all time.
The only problem is that it's being produced by the guy who has made
garbage movies,
the Venom movies, Morbius. Not a great track record.
Yeah.
But we'll see how it goes. What do you think?
I'm optimistic and very, very excited. I really, 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 really hope that a majority of the casting is not known actors.
Yeah.
I know we joked about like Tom Holland. Like I don't need Tom Holland being Link. You know, I don't need The Rock anywhere near this movie. Please, no. Jack Black, God, get him out of here. I'm good.
I don't want it to be like a fish out of water situation, like Minecraft.
Yeah.
Or like, I mean, even like Mario was kind of a fish out of water situation. I think
I thought Mario was handled pretty. Like I thought Mario was fine.
Yeah,
it's fine. You know, I've only ever watched it the one time, so I don't have any other opinions other than watching it in the theaters. But I mean, it was cool. Like I like that a lot. So I mean, it's only up from here as far as their movies go, and I thought they did a good job. But yeah, I mean, this is one of my favorite franchise of all time. So you know, I'm very excited to see what they can do with this. I mean, there's been the long rumored Netflix show that was in production at some point, then inevitably got canceled. I don't know. I just hope they do it right. And I think with Nintendo going to be obviously heavily involved with it, they're going to make sure that it's taken care of.
Well, if
Link's going to talk in this movie, he has to talk. It'd be weird if he didn't. I don't know.
I will say, if the Mario movie is any indication, they're going to get big stars to play in this movie.
I think Link.
I mean, I think
Link and Zelda need to be need to be not known actors. They need to be like up and coming actors with some chops. I don't want like a
known actor.
Yeah.
I think Zelda could be like an Anya Joy Taylor.
Anya Taylor-Joy. Yeah.
Anya Taylor-Joy. And then have an unknown actor for Link. And please just God don't have The Rock as Ganondorf.
Can you smell what I've been
or
cooking?
Jack Black? Like,
yeah, like Kevin Hart. Like, just get all those like kind of, I don't know, I'm gonna say it, crummy actors. Get them away from this movie. I don't want them here.
Yeah. No Rock. No Chris Pratt. Not that he's a bad actor, but overused. Yeah. I don't know. I think if they are going big name, Timothée Chalamet could be a good Link actor.
See, I'm okay. I would be okay with that because he's got the chops and he's like,
he could deliver an Oscar-worthy performance.
And he's more
as Link.
It's not a jab or anything, but he's more on like the feminine side, I guess, which is what Link is.
He's more like androgynous, looking.
Like no, I don't know. I've never seen him with the beard or anything like that, so I don't know if he can grow one. But obviously, like that's what Link is. Like he's a Kakariko. No. Jesus Christ. I don't remember.
Kakarikan? Not Kakarikan.
No. Well, Kakariko Village is where he's from. I don't know. Anyways, so yeah, that's the only one that I could think that maybe if we're going big name actor for Link would be Timothée Chalamet. But
I would be willing to bet he's at least in the conversation.
Probably
for them. Like he's like it'd be good if we can get them. If we get Timothy. But we'll see. I mean,
but like if we're gonna get like
I'm sure they'll
get Batista as like a Goron or something stupid.
That would be cool. I'd be down for that. Oh yeah, man, I forgot about the Gorons, the Zora,
and they've got to nail. They've got to nail the designs of the Gorons.
The costume designs.
They can't look stupid. They just can't. They can't look goofy. Like
I can't picture a way that this doesn't look cheesy.
Like I don't know. Like I want this to look as good visual wise as like Avatar or something. Like Avatar looks stunning, and like those characters in that world look like super realistic. Their CGI effect they do in those movies are incredible. So I want it to be on that scale. Yeah. And I don't know, like if it's going to be like a trilogy, obviously I don't know exactly how that would work. We don't know what the storyline is going to be. I was thinking the three the three corners of the Triforce, but Link doesn't get all three. It's always spread out between Ganondorf and Zelda and Link, so that wouldn't work that way. But I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how they would split it up, unless they. I mean, it'd be cool if they kind of followed Ocarina of Time and had a time jump, and maybe like the first movie ends.
Yeah.
When he travels through time, although he's going back and forth.
Although, yeah, would we want a child playing? That would essentially.
I would rather have an adult Link.
Yeah, you would have like the child Link, and then if you did like the time swap at the end of the first movie or something, and then in the sequel, it's Timothée Chalamet. I don't know if I would like that.
Yeah,
like maybe flashbacks, but I don't know if I need a whole movie of a child playing Link.
There's so many ways they could do it wrong.
Yeah,
and there's very few that are gonna be good. Hopefully, we're in that universe that has the good Zelda movie. But I mean, based off this director, man, I don't know. I really don't know.
I mean, there's been so many bad adaptations, and Zelda is not the one to mess up.
No.
Man,
I think you just treat it like I've never seen the movie The Green Knight, but there's a lot of I heard there's a lot of parallels between that and something like Zelda or Dark Souls.
I don't think I've ever heard of that before.
It's just like kind of like a solemn adventure.
Yeah.
That's like kind of like not on the grittier side, but on just the more like isolated side, and maybe that's what they could lean into. But I don't know.
Yeah, but there's been a lot of good solo movies out there, but like usually it ends up that the solo character meeting like a companion, and then they finish the movie together.
Mm-hmm.
And you could always Navi. You could always be like that side, that companion character.
Yeah.
And then you meet. I don't know. Yeah, it's gonna be tough. It's not gonna be an easy adaptation at all.
Jack Black as Navi.
Jesus Christ.
There's Navi.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's gonna be a challenge, and it's gonna be, and it's gonna get, if it's not perfect, it's gonna get so much hate.
Yeah, it's gonna get blasted apart online if it's not everything that everyone wants it to be, which it won't.
Yeah,
as long as they nail the look of it, I think as long as they get the costume design, they get the they're not overusing CGI. They're filming it on location. It could turn out pretty good.
Yeah, we'll see. Like I said, I'm very excited. I'm excited for the casting. I know when they have that first trailer and they have Zelda's Lullaby or some sort of song, it's gonna give me goosebumps.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, buddy. Yeah, very, very excited for that. All right, Nick. Well, we had the Switch One Direct that dropped on Thursday. Kind of came and went. It wasn't the greatest Direct. I would argue it was probably one of the worst that Nintendo has put out there for us. I mean, obviously, that people are excited about Tamagotchi Life. And obviously, it's hard to be mad at something when we have the Switch 2 Direct coming out here in a couple of days. So, take it for that what you will. But yeah, not the greatest. Obviously, still didn't get any news about Zelda or the Metroid Primes or Fire Emblem. Genealogy of the Holy War, or what else has been rumored? The
Kirby Planet Robobot.
Yeah, that's been rumored.
Yeah.
Where are those at? Who knows? Is it real? Who knows?
But it wasn't there. We were off to a rough start when the show started with a known quantity, that being Dragon Quest 1 and 2 remake, which I'm relatively excited for. I played through 3. I enjoyed it, But when it started with that, I was like, okay, this is probably representative of the direct we're about to get, and that ended up being true. I mean, the first party wise, we got another look at Metroid Prime 4, and I know you and I were talking about this before the show, at the beginning of the show. I don't know. That trailer didn't blow me away. It was kind of a boring trailer. I don't like the Nintendo narrated trailers. I don't think those are very good.
To me, it looked more Halo than it did Metroid for most of that trailer. Just like with like kind of the land, like I don't know. It looked noticeably worse than the first showing of Metroid Prime 4, which we'll talk about maybe why here in a little bit with our predictions. But yeah, I wasn't blown away by it. And I don't need to be blown away by it because it's already going to be a day one for me anyways. But I don't know. If I wasn't blown away by it, how does that say for other people that have never jumped into a Metroid game before? Is that going to entice them to play it? Maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, no, that's a fair point. Like they definitely were not playing to the wider audience with that, and they weren't even playing to the Metroid audience, showing that you can open doors with the new psychic abilities, which you can open doors in every Metroid, so it's not like it's anything groundbreaking, and just it's just very like a very slow move. Like even the movement within the gameplay itself just looked very slow, which is not. I know that's not representative of the game, so I was kind of disappointed in that. And then first party wise, we got Rhythm Heaven, a new Rhythm Heaven coming out next year, which I might pick up. Like I like rhythm games. I liked Rhythm Heaven.
That was interesting.
Yeah, interesting enough. And then it ended with Tomodachi Life, first new one in 10 years. People are going absolutely feral over this game. I did not know that it had such a big following. I checked it. It sold 7 million copies on the 3DS, which is pretty insane.
Yeah.
So that is a big closer for a lot of people, just not for us, since we were expecting, all the things that you had mentioned earlier, all those remakes and remasters. But I mean, to be fair, this is a new game. Sure, it's coming in 2026, but it does mean that Nintendo is down to support the Switch 1 for at least another year. Hit that 160
which we knew. I mean, that they
sold.
still want to sell. They still want to sell those units. They want to get past PlayStation 2.
Yeah, they want to get there, man.
Yeah. Like seeing Patapon 1 and 2 was cool. Like PlayStation kind of showing up, with everybody's golf as well. That was a PlayStation game. So it just kind of shows that PlayStation is going to be publishing a lot more games on the Switch platform, because games we've always said it, games just sell well on Switch, seemingly no matter what franchise it is. They just usually sell over 1 million.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of best-selling franchises for Nintendo specifically happen on the Switch. Metroid Dread, or Metroid, Kirby, Pikmin 4, Luigi's Mansion 3. I mean, just So
yes, I mean, I thought it wasn't
PlayStation this long to kind of jump in, but I think their strategy has definitely shifted this generation. We talked about that before with their live service kind of
failures.
They have failures. Their strategy that they had that didn't pan out well for them. But so yeah, it was fine. It was okay.
It was a C or D for me.
I would say on the D for me, just because there was, outside of Metroid, like, there's not really much I wanted to play that looked fun.
Yeah, there wasn't anything that caught my interest. Wasn't anything too exciting for me. So yeah, C or D. But again, knowing what's coming this week, like you can't be mad at it. It's just it's another cake. It's
yeah.
So,
the fact we got to switch one direct, the week before the other one is kind of crazy.
I mean, I think it would have been worse to get this back in February.
Yeah.
And then have to wait so long for the Switch 2 Direct after, sitting through that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's dive into the predictions, Nick.
All right, Harrison.
Where do you want to start?
I think I have their entire presentation mapped out.
Oh, take it away.
And I think it'd be fun to feel free to stop me anywhere.
Okay.
But I think it'd be fun to walk through this, and then we can get into your predictions.
Okay.
Anything else that we have, but I think I might be locked in here, and I want to get your thoughts on it.
Okay.
Okay. 50 minutes in total.
Yeah.
Just shy of an hour, because I think pre-orders are going to go live at 10 a.m.
Okay.
But we'll see. So it opens up with the full Mario Kart 9 trailer, goes through the bigger maps, 24 racers per race, whatever. Still has characters from different Nintendo IP. And then after that transitions to full reveal with price, which is $399. Launch date, June 4th. Limited mention about specs, but they will mention that 4K will be running on the Switch 2 when it's docked. And then
which makes sense because Nintendo does not really ever talk about specs.
No, they won't talk about teraflops or anything like that.
Yeah, no, that stuff doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. They'll talk about MouseCon mode, which is like the
MouseCon.
thing.
Okay,
MouseCon. The C button, which is probably some sort of screencast, some sort of Wii U type shit. I don't know.
Okay.
And then I think there's going to be like some USB-C peripheral attachments that you can add on to the top of the Switch. Maybe not a second screen, but like kind of like
I like that because I was going back and watching the reveal trailer, and they like, why would they highlight? I mean, I obviously
another
like
USB-C, yeah,
another one, and they kind of stayed on it like a little long. So I think they were kind of teasing something more here that meets the eye.
Yeah, I think that was alluding to something.
Yeah.
Okay, and I think the next game they're going to show off is Splatoon 4, and specifically because they're going to show off the MouseCon in action. I feel like that's a great game to show it off. Multiplayer game, very frenetic, good for showing whatever MouseCon.
Yeah, and that's like, and that game could potentially come out this year or maybe in spring. I think they want to get that game out soon because they're gonna support it like crazy, way more so I think than any of the other ones too.
That's the hope. I think they'll also have some sort of like Nintendo Land type game, or like a 1-2 switch that shows off more of the capabilities of the Switch 2.
Yeah,
like through the MouseCon mode and any of the other new modes they have with the Switch too. I think they'll show off a new Monolith Soft for 2026. I don't think it'll be Xenoblade. Maybe something completely new. Did you have any thoughts on what they were going to do next, or?
My understanding, it was a new IP.
New IP, okay.
Like a new open world IP. It's my understanding that it was.
Okay. All right.
We've gotten a lot of Xenoblade on the Switch. I think it's time for them to do something a little bit different.
Yeah, I think they're probably wanting like a better chance at a breakout success. And if they went with Xenoblade 4, that's isolating potential new fans even more. It's like 4 is a pretty tough number to
start to jump in at that point.
Yeah. I think we'll get a new Fire Emblem announced coming out this year. I don't think we'll see the remake. And I think this one will support the MouseCon mode, which would work pretty well with like a strategy RPG. All right. And then it's going to transition to Switch 1 enhanced games.
Yep. I agree.
And that's where we see Metroid Prime 4, and it's going to look amazing. We see Breath of the Wild, which I think is going to launch with the Switch. Like that.
Yeah. Like a 4K version.
Like 4K 60, if they can do that. Maybe just
my question to you is, let's pause right there for a second.
Yeah.
Do you think that, because I think they're going to charge for it. Like, why? It obviously costs money to do these upscales and stuff like that. Do you think they'll charge per game that does because that's honestly like, if they tie it into like NSO, like it kind of gives an incentive to being a subscriber. That'll bump it up. Let's face it, they're probably going to increase the price of NSO, especially if they're going to throw in GameCube too. which you maybe talk about here in a second. But I think they'll include that in the subscription of NSO. Otherwise, you can upgrade if you have the original game, but it'll cost like $5 or $10.
That's exactly what I had here. $10.
Everybody talked about this before.
I know. Or it'll be. I'm assuming Breath of the Wild on the Switch 2 enhanced version, if you just want to buy that outright, will be $70.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, kind of like the transition from the PS4 to the PS5. Very, very similar to that.
Yeah. I mean, PlayStation started it off, so you can't get mad at Nintendo for doing it.
Exactly.
5 years later. I mean, Zelda's the only one that's been 70, so we've been kind of lucky.
Yeah.
With Nintendo.
My one thing here, I think for the launch of the Switch 2, the focus is going to be on Mario Kart 9 and enhanced Breath of the Wild. I think Metroid Prime 4 is going to launch in August.
Okay.
2 months later, to give time to Mario Kart and then show off enhancements for Breath of the Wild. And I think they'll have another. Sorry, yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just going to piggyback. So the only reason I would slightly disagree with it not being a launch game, with Metro Prime not being a launch game, what game is going to be utilizing the mouse con mode? Because there's going to be need to have something that's.
Oh, you know what? That's a good point. Man, God, that's a great point.
Maybe I mean Splatoon could be. I mean, that would be kind of crazy for that to be a.
That's 2 multiplayer.
Yeah,
Mario Kart and Splatoon. You know what? You're right. It's got to be Metroid Prime 4 because that shows off MouseCon.
Yeah.
Mario Kart 8. Maybe Breath of the Wild launches as well, or it comes out in July, a month later. I think having that maybe stacked on a little bit later could help.
Unless they create some sort of new IP, which is very possible. I mean, it's all but a thing, the MouseCon thing. They've got to have something at launch that utilizes that feature and then shows it off on why it's a really cool one. And I think it's a really cool feature. Like, so many games are going to be able to utilize it, whether it's an RTS game, like Civilization. You know, there's going to be so many games that are going to be able to use it and just give people options to play. So if it's not Metroid Prime 4, it's got to be something similar, or I don't know if they're going to have another first-person shooter, but something that shows off that mechanic.
Yeah, that's a great point. I think they'll end this with the sizzle reel of upcoming enhanced games. I think we'll see Kirby, Forgotten Land, Pikmin 4.
Okay.
Pokemon, Scarlet and Violet, Tears of the Kingdom.
I don't think Pokemon will be included in that at all.
You don't think they'll even have like
that would be the biggest middle finger ever to original Switch owners and just I think Pokemon fans in general. It's like, okay, we released a game that was a buggy mess. Nintendo promised that it would be fixed. It never was, but give us more money and we'll fix it for you, dude, on a better system.
Yeah, is that kind of admitting like?
Yeah,
is that admitting guilt?
Yeah, I don't think we'll see any Pokemon game getting it.
I was hesitant to put that in here.
Not even ZA. I think ZA is going to be a mess in my opinion. It just looks bad. I think it's going to have the same issues as Arceus did, but maybe even worse. I don't know. That game just does not look appealing to me at all. So yeah, I don't think Pokemon shows up here, but I mean, maybe, who knows? But okay, I think, like you said, it may admit the guilt of, we messed up first time around, but we'll make it up to you guys, unless it's free. If it's free, okay.
And then lastly, I think they'll show Xenoblade Chronicles X, 60 FPS.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm hesitant. Like maybe there's some paid versions and maybe there are some free upgrades for the frame rate increases, like with something like Pikmin 4 or Kirby. Those should be free, but like with Breath of the Wild, if they're doing a lot of work to that, then yeah, I could see it being an upgrade. So I don't know how that's going to play out, but I do think that after this they're gonna reveal GameCube for NSO.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's where they're gonna show off like Smash, Prime 2, Prime 1, Luigi's Mansion, maybe Fire Emblem, Path of Radiance, and those like a batch of GameCube games will be coming day one to Switch 2.
Yeah,
exclusive on Switch 2.
Do you think they'll be up? Do you think they'll be like up-res at all, or do you think they're going to be?
I don't think so.
No,
okay. No, but they'll have online, like
yeah.
Smash Melee. You'll be able to play.
That'd be crazy.
Online,
That'd be
nutty.
Crazy.
All right. After this, transitions to third-party exclusives. Okay. Not exclusives. Third-party reveals.
Yeah.
I think we'll see Dragon Quest 12, a Resident Evil Revelations 3.
Finally, we're gonna see that. Okay, I think
we'll see it, and then potentially Persona 6 revealed. That one might be reaching too high, but hey, I'm gonna put it on here anyways.
Persona's huge now, so why not put it on what's going to be the best-selling platform? You know, in the foreseeable future.
And by reaching too high, I mean, I don't know if they would reveal it here or if they would just do their own thing and reveal it, you know, in their own space. I don't know if they would want to get drowned out with all the other major Nintendo announcements, but
what's going on, Shutar? You said I sold my day one Switch, going to buy the Zelda Lite model. I've got it right here, and it's excellent. I love it. Really, really cool.
Nice.
And that makes sense. Like, you know, if you I don't know if you're going to plan on picking up a Switch too, but yeah, I think that makes sense to get rid of the the original. You know, if you're
get rid
of
the OG.
I mean, I'm not going to do it. I still have mine, but mine's kind of my son. You know, my son plays with it, so it's kind of I've already had to upgrade or repair it and upgrade the battery and stuff like that. So
yeah,
yeah, I think the lights are really, really cool. It's a neat little handheld.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so
do you think we'll see any because I have a section here for third-party sizzle reel.
Yeah.
But before that, do you think we'll see any major third-party announcements for new games, for new third-party games?
I think you nailed it. I think Night Rain is going to be here.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I think Night Rain could be there. As far as like new games go,
like maybe some new collaboration with Square Enix, whether it be an Octopath Traveler 3, maybe a Bravely Default 3, maybe like a new HD 2D game.
I do think they're going to reveal the Final Fantasy IX remake here.
Okay, yeah, because that just had
that would be
its website, right?
It's that had the anniversary website that was created. So I think it's going to get announced here. I think that makes a ton of sense. And then maybe piggyback off of that, they'll unveil, Final Fantasy VII remake and maybe, what's the second one? Final Fantasy
Rebirth.
Maybe they'll reveal that one here as well. I think that's definitely possible.
Under my sizzle reel section, I have Elden Ring, Metaphor,
absolutely,
Doom: The Dark Ages, Monster Hunter Wilds, Final Fantasy VII, and Cyberpunk 2077.
Makes sense.
Do you think anything else, like any other?
Halo? Did you say Halo?
Halo, yeah, Halo.
I think Halo's going to be here. I think it's going to be here, and I think it's going to kind of break the internet a little bit. I mean, it's obviously heavily rumored, but once we see it,
do you think it's the full Master Chief Collection, or do you think they're just porting individual Halos?
I think it's going to be the collection
because they could piecemeal it.
They could, but I mean, but all the other ones weren't, so that'd be kind of weird.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously they were, when they were releasing on the Xbox, but ever since they made the collection, they haven't piecemealed. It's all been a part of it. Mm-hmm. I mean, maybe. I mean, they or maybe it's just like maybe it's a Halo 1 like a new remake.
Oh, announced at the Switch 2
presentation, and it's going to come out Xbox and PlayStation as well. That would be crazy.
Or an Oblivion, the Oblivion remake.
Yeah,
maybe that gets announced here.
That's a possibility as well. That's heavily rumored to launch next month, actually. so it could launch on Xbox and PlayStation next month, and then maybe come out and Switch in June.
You think we see like Red Dead Redemption 2 or GTA 5, anything like that?
I don't. No, I mean,
Rockstar Games, no.
No, I don't think so. I mean, they had the trilogy. I think they could have put 4 on there, but they never ported it over. So I think that it'll be. I mean, maybe it'll come. I mean, who knows if even GTA 6 is coming to the Switch too? I don't know.
Yeah,
but no, I mean, not here. I think it'll come eventually. What are the chances Nintendo sneaks out one more addition to the Switch family, similar to the? Yeah, I think they will. I think they'll do a Pokemon ZA edition.
Yeah, I don't think
I don't know if they're not gonna have another SKU. Like, there's not gonna be, a Switch OLED Lite or something like that. I think we just have what we have. There'll be different variants. I think maybe Pokemon's gonna be the last one.
Or maybe Tomodachi Life is gonna get
maybe that one's
special edition.
I would be kind of shocked if they released another model, because that would be just too much on the market. I think. I mean, you've got Switch Lite, Switch OG, Switch OLED, a new version of Switch, and then a Switch 2. I think that would just be way too much.
Yeah, that'd be too confusing.
Do you think here? Actually, no. I don't think they're going to announce a price drop here.
I don't think they'll announce a price drop until
either closer to the
holiday
Switch launch or after. Maybe holiday makes sense.
Yeah. The last thing I have here, and this is the closer.
Okay.
A new 3D Mario revealed.
Absolutely.
Kind of similar to. Oh no! The Switch 1 presentation ended with Breath of the Wild. But yeah, I think this one would end with like a new Super Mario universe, some type of crazy Mario game
that comes out this year.
Yeah, for this year.
Yeah, I agree. I think we get something Zelda, something. I think we might get a tease for the next one.
Really? Already?
I think so. I think they're gonna give us a tease. A little tease.
I don't know. I would think we'd get Ocarina of Time remake before we got the next 3D Zelda.
Well, I'm saying that we're gonna get a tease for the next Zelda, which is gonna be years away. But we were just a little snippet, and I think it's still gonna be the Zelda and Link that we know from Tears and Breath of the Wild. Did they confirm that they're moving away from them yet? No. Or have they said anything?
They haven't said.
This is just pure guessing and kind of wishfulness on my part. I think it's going to be those two characters again, and I think it's going to be a co-op game. You can play co-op, and I think we're going to see Link and Zelda leaving Hyrule and going somewhere else to explore. Ooh. Or something happens and they wind up at a new place. Just my guess. Just my thoughts.
Yeah. I would love a game where you play with Zelda.
Yeah.
I feel like Zelda in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom was very underutilized.
Yeah, for sure.
She was such a great character in those games.
Yeah. That's just my guess.
Cool. That could be really cool. And it could kind of coincide with like the cast, like the Switch 2's casting mechanic, where you can maybe cast and have two players playing on one Switch.
Or if it's not co-op, I think Zelda will be a playable character.
Okay. See, that would be awesome too.
Yeah. I just think if they're going to continue the story between this world of Hyrule, we can't do a third game in Hyrule again.
No, you can't do it again.
Yeah. I mean, what they did with Tears of the Kingdom was absolutely incredible, and nobody thought of, these, the depths or whatever, and how vast it would actually be. But yeah, I think if it's the same characters, we see them leaving Hyrule. I think that makes the most sense.
What did I miss? What do you like? What do you think we're gonna see? Any other games?
I think you nailed it. I think you nailed it on the head. Outside of just having that kind of that killer app of a game that they need to show off the mouse-con mode.
Mhm.
And if it's not Metroid, I think it's probably gonna be a new game.
Yeah. What if they got like World of Warcraft or like
That'd be crazy.
RuneScape or something?
Yeah,
Comes.
that would be crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you nailed it.
I mean, they're gonna touch on like Nintendo Switch Online.
Yeah.
They're gonna mention the enhanced editions. I mean, that's already been mentioned in the fine print of their cartridge.
I think they'll talk about an eShop change because I know a lot of people, and it's bad. I was just looking at it
terrible
earlier, and it took like 2 minutes for the bestsellers page to load up, and I'm right here by my router, so it's just awful. Yeah, I think we get an update to the shop. They'll probably maybe have an app or something we can just buy stuff on our phone. I don't know, whatever the case is.
Yeah, and I know I didn't mention like UI or anything else. I think it'll be pretty standard fare. I don't think there's
it's not gonna be a huge
gonna be anything that blows people away. It's not gonna be what everyone wants. It's not gonna have
no themes
and infinite folders. Like,
no.
Yeah, I think that's gonna that would soak up too much of the RAM of the Switch 2, and they just want to keep it as clean as possible.
Yeah,
because that's what it's about.
You mentioned peripherals. We'll definitely get a look at the new Pro controller, whatever that design is.
Oh yeah.
Any sort of accessories that go along with the Joy-Con and mouse mode, we'll see that. We'll probably see like a Nintendo branded mouse pad, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
That could be part of it. Like when they're selling the collector's editions, like they could throw in that as a perk. Colors. You think it's just the standard black with the blue and red?
Yeah, I think it's just one for now. I think there will be more colors. And I think there will be more Joy-Cons, but I don't know, with kind of the inverted colors that they have, there's not much of a draw to get the other Joy-Cons because the color is on the
inside.
Really on the side, on the inside. So
yeah,
we'll see how they approach that because maybe they have like different styles of Joy-Cons, like different.
They sold a lot of Joy-Cons.
Yeah. And they probably don't want to give up that revenue stream of selling different colors of Joy-Cons. Maybe they just have. I don't know. Maybe they have GameCube Joy-Cons.
Kind of going back to Pokemon, how we're talking about, they would be admitting defeat. Do you think they mention like the Hall effect joysticks at all?
Nope.
Or we'll find out later on if they actually do it. But I don't think they're gonna say anything about the joysticks.
Because then they'd have to say like, oh, we recognize like there were problems with the original Joy-Cons and we never did anything to fix them really. But on the Switch 2, it's gonna be fully fixed.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
Yeah, they'll probably just show them like moving and stuff, and then we'll get a press release like right after saying, "Oh, yeah, Hall effect joysticks, blah blah blah."
Yeah, Nintendo doesn't talk about specs. They didn't.
No.
They didn't mention frame rate or resolution when the Switch was revealed. The only thing they went in depth on was the HD Rumble.
Yeah.
And that wasn't even giving away specs. That was just talking about the functionality of it. So like I'm hesitant to even say they'll talk about 4K output, but that is kind of
a buzzword. Yeah, I think they'll say 4K.
Okay.
They'll mention 4K. They won't talk about FPS or anything like that. Absolutely not. But yeah, I think they'll definitely mention 4K. I think they'll mention whether it's probably going to be an LCD screen, which is totally fine. I think they'll mention that. What kind of screen it is. give us the dimensions of the Switch, like the screen size, because they didn't do that with the real trailer.
Oh yeah.
What do you think's in the box? Do you think it's just same as the Switch? We get the little grip, and then the dock, and then whatever else?
I think so.
Any pack-in games? I don't know if there is. But...
No, I don't think so, because I feel like the pack-in stuff this time around is going to be everything with NSO.
Yeah.
And it could be like enhanced games as well that are included with NSO, like something like Breath of the Wild, or I don't know, other games. But I think they'll have they might have a separate like a standalone Nintendo Land type game, but
yeah,
I don't think they'll do a pack-in.
Did you mention Smash Brothers?
I did not. I feel like we'll see Kid Icarus before we see Smash.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
Kid Icarus could be a good MouseCon game.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not convinced with Smash. And I would really dislike if they did Smash Ultimate Deluxe. Like, I would not want that.
There's no way. No, I think they're gonna.
I don't know. There's a chance. There's a chance they might do it. I mean, they hit the ground running with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Obviously, that was not planned. I mean, that was just nobody played it on the Wii U, so it was essentially a new game in the Mario Kart franchise. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think we see Smash here, but if it shows up, I wouldn't be surprised either. So
then that would start the cycle over again of character announcements and DLC announcements, new waves.
Did you say price?
Yeah, $3.99.
$3.99. Okay, yep, that's what I agree with. Yeah, $3.99, one SKU.
Easy.
Yeah.
Easy to understand.
Yeah.
I think the differentiator between the Switch One is going to be the MouseCon stuff. It's going to be that casting functionality, increased power, and then maybe USB-C peripherals like a second screen, which might lead to DS implementation for NSO online.
I think the second screen thing is real. I do.
That'd be awesome. I would love that.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think it's real. I think it's. I'm gonna talk it into existence here. If that's like my one reaching prediction, is the second screen
outside of the DS, because you can't develop for it knowing that most people won't buy that peripheral. But maybe it's something like with Xenoblade X for instance, since that one was on the Wii U, it had the map on the Wii U gamepad.
Yeah, you could absolutely do that. Yeah, also you have to make the game, run perfectly on just the base. But if someone wants to, I don't know, spend $50 or $75 or $100, whatever the second screen capability is, whatever it's going to cost, throw the map up on there, throw some other, whatever on there. It's not going to be a touch screen or anything like that. It's just going to be a second screen. Or maybe it would be, I don't know.
Or it would be good for tabletop mode co-op.
Yeah.
Something maybe you could like Halo.
Like, okay, so you could, all right, we're getting a little bit crazy here. So you can plug it in straight on top of the USB.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you have a cord, you could link it up, and then it's also going to have its own separate kickstand. Or a case, whatever. Maybe not a kickstand, but you can link it up. So then you could play with two screens in tabletop mode.
I'm liking this.
Be cool.
Or they just have a worm light.
Oh, yeah. I think. Yeah, the more I'm thinking about it, as cool as I think the MouseCon thing is going to be, I think they need something more.
And that's how you set yourself up for disappointment.
Yeah, and I think exactly. And I think the peripheral thing could be really cool. You know, they could have a bunch of different
neat peripherals. Camera.
Yeah, camera, whatever.
I don't know. I don't know what else they can do. That's their problem. That's their job to figure out. But that is an exciting prospect, having a second screen. Maybe you can like fold down and clamp.
Because I mean, what else would it? Because if like I get them shifting the USB-C to the top because like it is kind of a pain if you're playing it and you have that cord sticking out.
Yeah.
So I get them shifting it, but then now we have two. So options are good. So you can play because you still have to have the one on the bottom, right? Because you have to be able to dock it. So that is why they kept it.
But now you can charge it in tabletop mode.
Yeah, but maybe there's something more to that.
There's got to be. There's no other reason to put two chargers because people made do with the one.
I don't think it was like. It's kind of a pain every once in a while, but I don't think it was like a make or break situation.
No, and there are stands that can work around it. I used to have a stand that worked like that where you could play in tabletop mode. So I think there's a reason, like you said, there's a reason they highlighted it during the initial reveal.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No, I think we nailed everything. Your breakdown was pretty good, pretty flawless. So
we'll see how flawless.
That's what's going to happen. That's exactly what's going to happen.
You heard it here.
Yeah, you heard it here first. So we'll see. Either way, I'm very excited. What time is this thing at on Wednesday?
9 a.m.
9 a.m. So very early in the morning.
Very early. What do you have a?
I don't think pre-orders are going to go the same day. I think that's a little bit. I think that's a little bit crazy.
I mean, that's what the Switch 1 did.
Was it the same day?
Yeah.
Oh, well, maybe it will be. So I also agree that it's going to come out in June. And I think they're going to spread out the pre-orders. So I think they're going to start with Nintendo memberships, NSO memberships. Obviously, you have to have a subscription or you have to create the account, so many days in advance or probably a year. I would say like a year. And then you start to phase in 7 years. Hey, whatever works. I mean, they said they have a ton of units ready to go to kind of, circumvent the scalpers. But yeah, I think they're going to do phases of the pre-order.
Yeah.
Start with the NSO stuff. Maybe, I mean, shit, years would be great. And that would be very, very smart of Nintendo to allow their biggest supporters to get in there first. And then once you've kind of phased out NSO, then you open it up to regular retailers.
Yeah. I think that's the best way to do it. I don't
one per retailer.
I think please one per retail. Yeah, one per customer would be
I would love if they I don't think they can force it, but I would love if they made it to where it was mandatory to be in person to pre-order.
Yeah.
That would be the way to do it, to prevent scalpers. Easiest way.
That's true. All right. But if we can get two, if you have the ability, just to make sure we're covered, pre-order two.
Oh, of course.
If you
absolutely.
Can. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll do the same.
Yeah, it's good. Wednesday is going to be. I thought about taking the day off, to be honest, just because I know it was going to be absolutely insane. But
yeah, it's gonna be a good morning. I'm gonna wake up, go to the gym, hit chest day, and then I might go to Biscuitville. I might get a little biscuit Wednesday morning.
Biscuit.
Yeah.
Hey, let's kickstart your morning.
Kickstart the morning, man. It's gonna be good.
Love it. Love to hear it. All right. Well, I think we gave a lot of predictions. I mean, I know they're pretty common, but I think we got a couple of good ones in there.
Yeah.
So yeah, very very excited for Switch 2. I mean, this is what we've been waiting for
years.
4 years now. Ever since it was rumored for the Pro. Long time coming. it was when they announced the April 2nd direct, it really felt like it was going to take forever, and it just kind of flew by, which is awesome. And now we're here, and we're in the thick of it.
2 days remain.
2 days remain. Yeah, good stuff. All right. Well, final thoughts before we get out of here. And housekeeping. We will be doing a bonus one on Wednesday that night.
Yes. Breaking everything
probably
down.
Same time we do our normal show, 8:45. So yeah, so if you guys want to come hang out and gush over the goodness that is Switch 2, or we're just going to talk about how disappointing it was.
God, hopefully it's the former.
Yeah, there's no way. So yeah, come join if you want. We'll still upload it like we normally do. We'll upload it as a bonus show. Yeah, and go from there. All right, guys. We'll see you on the other side. We're in the end game.
The other side.
Bye-bye.